Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I think we said on the last video, or certainly over the last couple of videos, this is going to get much worse before this gets better. Norwich City have lost 2-1 away to Swansea City, and another club, much like Derby County, that were really struggling, that were calling for the change of their head coach, that were desperate for a victory. And I said it on the preview, if you are desperate for a victory, play Norwich City. They will find a way to give you all 3 points. And I'm really struggling at this stage to come on here and say anything new. I really am. Because for the first time, I think ever, in the history of TNC, even when there have been shouts for head coaches to go, whether that was Daniel Farke, whether that was Alex Neil, whether that was Dean Smith, Johannes Torup, whoever it was, there was always a slight balance. There was a balance of people going, oh, I don't know if I really want, Dean Smith to go, because actually we're a fair way up the table. Oh, I don't know if I want David Wagner to go because he's got us into the playoffs. Oh, I don't know whether I want Johannes Torup to go because actually the underlying numbers are looking pretty good. For the first time ever, I can't think of a single person that can defend Liam Manning at this stage. I can think of very few that can defend Ben Napper. I can think of very few that can defend Zoe Webber. The list goes on. I'm going to hold my hands up today. I didn't watch the game. I was at the Wroxham game. I went to watch Wroxham against Whittam. And I tell you who else was there. A hell of a lot of Norwich fans that I see occasionally at Carrow Road or at away games. And it was frightening. Absolutely frightening. The amount of people who are hardened Norwich City fans going to me, Jack, I've got my season ticket. I'm not going next week. Jack, I sit in the River End at Carrow Road. I've lost my seat. Fuck renewing my season ticket. Jack, I was meant to be going to Swansea today. I picked my local team. That is concerning. And as I stare down this lens, and I know that certain people at Norwich City will be watching this, and even if they're not, wake up. Wake up immediately, because what is happening now is frighteningly bad. We are losing fans. We are losing football matches. And if we don't wake up incredibly soon, Norwich City will be in League One. And I think back to that. I think it was Chris Gorham that asked Liam Manning, are you in a relegation battle? And he kind of shrugged it off. Are you mad? Can you not see what is unravelling here? Norwich City are second from bottom. The only team below us is Sheffield Wednesday, who have been entered into administration and are on -6 points. Then it's us. Then it's Sheffield United. Norwich City are now 7 points. 6 points. Away from 17th place. There is a large gap between us and 17th place. This was a side constructed by Ben Napper, a side that has been constructed for the tune of £55 million over the last 24 months. The aim was top 6. I sat in the very room of Ben Napper, of Liam Manning, of Mark Atanasio, of Zoe Webber, where they said the expectation for this season is top 6. The reason that Johannes Torup was sacked was because he failed on those expectations. Norwich City finished, 13th last season. This Liam Manning side are the worst Norwich team I have seen in my existence. And I have watched a Norwich City team get relegated to League One. This team is worse than that. Football has changed. Football has pivoted. This is an expensive squad on Championship paper. It is horrific. That's part recruitment. That's part coaching. That's part on the players. This is awful. Genuinely awful. And you know the saddest thing about all of this? I got absolutely zero buzz from seeing Jovan Makama score at the Liberty Stadium today. And I'll tell you as to why. Because I knew what the result was going to be. I knew that Norwich City would find a way to lose again. Look, Norwich for the last 20 minutes of that first half, and listen to what I'm saying. how far my standards have fallen that I am now praising Norwich for being mildly coherent in 20-minute phases. I'm almost sickening myself here, right? Norwich were okay for the second half of the first half. It was a nicely worked goal. Liam Gibbs did well into Sargent. Nice ball. Jovan Makama, bang. Proven EFL scorer doing good things in the EFL. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? So he scores the goal. And yet still, the second half decisions from Liam Manning on a regular basis are mind-baffling. I cannot wrap my head around some of the decisions that are being made. The system to start with is poor. Then they huff and puff and they often find their way back in. But the second half performances, I think I saw actually, let me depress myself further by looking at NCFC numbers. The brilliant NCFC numbers run by Steve Sanders. But my goodness, if you want to feel down about yourself, take a look at that page at the moment. Norwich City's second half scorelines away from home this season when playing against 11 men. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. 0 goals scored in second half performances away from home this season. I mean, it's like at time of recording, and I don't know why I'm saying that because I don't think he's going anywhere. 6 o'clock on a Saturday, 25th of October, freezing cold October evening, right? Liam Manning is still in charge. I don't know how. I don't know how. At least the Lakers are still delivering. Liam Manning is still in charge. There is a belief within the club that when the injuries return, and who have we got now? Diallo, Chris Garden is basically back. There is an expectancy that will change proceedings. Do you think that we're thick? It's not changing a thing, right? This strongest 11 under this head coach, nothing is changing. We have played some really poor teams this week in Swansea and Derby, and we have lost them both. These are some of the poorer teams that we will face in this division, and we cannot find a way to even get a point. Just stop the rot in some capacity, right? And this might sound disrespectful to those involved at the football club. And I'm kind of beyond the point of caring because I feel disrespected as a fan. The fact that I keep hearing that there's belief in the head coach and there's belief in the sporting director and the processes. I'm so sick and tired of hearing the word processes because if this is a process and there is seeming progress mounted at each stage of this process, then set it out to us. Set it out to the fans. Come out and tell us the process. But there is no process. And if there is a process, then it's clearly not working. And the other thing that, look, if you sack Liam Manning, that does 10% of what needs to happen here. The reason that Liam Manning isn't being sacked by Ben Napper is because if Ben Napper sacks Liam Manning, he's sacking himself because he's proving once again that one, his recruitment hasn't worked, and two, his recruitment in terms of head coaches hasn't worked yet again because he sacked off the progress of Johannes Torp very early. That was always going to be a big move. And then the sale of Marcelino Nunes in the summer adds pressure to it. So he can't sack the head coach. You've got the ownership group in Norfolk Holdings and Mark Atanasio and Mike Atanasio and etc, 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 who will be coming to the UK and fielding calls on BBC Radio Norfolk next week. That will be a very interesting listen. They think there's belief in Ben Napper from their part, I believe, so they don't want to get rid of him. And they've dealt with Zoe Webber, and Zoe Webber is somehow getting out of this. This is a complete and utter shit show from all departments. Incompetency from all departments. And there's still, I get this sense of backslapping. This, okay, like it will, just wait until Diallo's back. Oh, just wait until Forson's back. No. This cannot go on. This cannot go on. And if it does go on, we will be in League One next season. And I don't want to hear, oh, League One's fun. Yeah, League One was fun because we were winning football matches, right? We had a good League One squad back then, don't forget. We had Grant Holt, Wesley Hoolahan, Chris Martin. Do you feel confident going to battle in League One with Mate Jurisic instead of Grant Holt? Like, let's get rid of this nonsense, right? Norwich need to stay in the Championship. Relegation would be an absolute disaster. I don't fancy going to fucking Gillingham, right, with Mate Jurisic up front. That does not appeal to me. So we need to remain in the Championship. We are quickly getting cut adrift. Sheffield United will pick up in performances. So will Blackburn. Southampton are 20th. They will make a decision on Will Still very soon. Oxford United survived last season. Wouldn't put it past them again. Portsmouth. Derby, we've lost to them. Wrexham, we've lost to them. Right? This is a really frightening position. And the constant desire to kind of keep this in place does not make sense to me. And I'm actually, I'm not apathetic. I'm angry. I'm really angry about what I'm seeing because I cannot for the life of me work out what these guys are seeing. We're apparently data-led. What are we being led on? What data is there to back up the decisions to keep our head coach in place, to keep our sporting director in place? Baffling. Utterly baffling. Look, this is really concerning, and I can't give you any hope. I can't sit here and give you hope because I still don't think that there will be a decision made. And also, I don't think by just sacking Liam Manning much changes. I think you'll get a little bit of a result out, but you need root and branch change at this point. You need to see the back of Ben Napper. You need to see the back of Zoe Webber. This isn't an isolated issue. This is a organisational wide issue at this stage. And that feels really overwhelming. And look, can that be resuscitated in the middle of a season? I don't know, but that's not my job. That's not my job to work out. I think it can. I think you can get consultants and people to advise the people that go in the right positions. Look, Mark Atanasio might not know a whole lot about football, but he's got friends in high places within football that can advise him wisely. This is a very distinctly average division. Swansea have beaten us, well done. Derby have beaten us, well done. They're very average football teams, right? Even those at the top of the division, Coventry we drew to, Middlesbrough we lost to, but we were down to 10 men. Millwall, first game of the season. Bristol City are 4th. Look, I'm actually really not enjoying filming these videos at the moment because I'm digging a hole deeper. I'm getting further and further away from a Christmas card from the football club this year. I can't find the positive. I can't spin this in any sort of way. And I go back to the top of this video, right? And that's the thing that really angers me and frustrates me. All of the people I spoke to today at Wroxham, right? Norwich City faithfuls, Norwich City hardened supporters for way, way longer than I've been supporting Norwich City, who have been going to Carrow Road and away games for 30, 40 years, are now going, I'm checked out of this. I don't feel heard. My seat has been taken off of me. That's the thing that really hurts here. Fans don't feel listened to. Fans feel like they're not being taken on a journey, and we're being served up dross. And look, I will never give my season ticket up because it's what I do and it's what I love. But I can't find a reason to give these fans to not renew. Mind-blowing. Swansea 2, Norwich City 1. Norwich sit within the bottom 3 for the first time since 2009 in the second tier of English football. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. Norwich City are in a relegation battle, and they will be in League One if decisions aren't made soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.